Welcome back, guys. Welcome to the first part of our Coreset 2019 wrap up. I have cracked open and posted all my videos of the booster boxes I got for Coreset 2019. I was originally just going to do the case that I bought, but since I have opened up two other ones, I decided to just add them in there just to make everything easier when it comes down to the numbers. So that means we have 8 boxes that we opened up, one complete case and two others. That case, all 6 boxes only cost us $409. That's because I pre-ordered at $84.99 and then had a 20% off eBay coupon. So that means basically got 2 free boxes. Then we add in those two that I bought from the store, which are $95 a piece. But they also come with Nexus of Fate, which really could skew that in our direction either way. So grand total $599, almost $600 for our goal for this entire opening. And without even adding up the numbers yet, I think we did pretty decently. And so let's go into it. In this video, we're going to focus mainly on the Mythics just because I have a lot to say about it. I want to keep the video short because this is a price video. There's no openings and stuff like that, so I don't want to bore people too much with that. So before we get started, let's break down those boxes that we showed. We showed the grand total of all the totals of all the boxes I opened up for our channel here. And that total is on the screen right now. Now, even though we have this as the total, it's not even close to what I actually made off the box just because of the fact that the prices are all over the place. And whether or not I held onto a card or sold it at the right time will skew that total quite a lot, actually. But it is a good starting point to look at. Let's talk Mythics. Some very big money here. Now that the Pro Tour just happened and it was kind of a wash when it comes to standard, with 40% of the decks being red-black and 20% being mono-green. Because of that, we really didn't have any spikes in our cards except for one, Nexus of Fate. That blew people away this Pro Tour and the price jumped from around 18 on TCG Player to 37. That price has settled at about $34.99 after the initial spike. Now I did sell one for $34.99 and I'm happy to do that because Turbo Fog did awesome against black, red, and mono green, but it does struggle against control, and control will stick around after rotation. So this may be the highest you'll ever see this card. With that said though, there is a reason I only sold one. First, 35 goes a long way for my goal, so I kind of had to sell a thing. And this card has a very high bottom. I don't ever see this card slipping below $15 or $18 mark that it was at about a week ago. This is a limited edition card with a long life left in standard. The further out we get from opening weekend and those stores actually having a buy a box promo, the higher it's going to go because of speculation alone. There is still a lot of chance for this card to go up to a price as new sets come in. $70 is not out of the question at all for a card of this kind, especially because it's a 4 of, to make it worth playing. I'm happy with $35 though, but there is a reason I only sold one. I'm really holding on to the other one, and if you have one of these cards as well, do not sell. Hold on to it, let it ride. This could be a collector's item even in the long run because Commander is a huge deal, and an instant take another turn is a great card for Commander. And let's not forget, this is foil. Now on to the rest of the Mythics. We have Nicol Bolas. Now I've sold all 4 copies for about $36 each. Now Nicol Bolas did see some pro play and has done real well on MTGO, but didn't make the top at the Pro Tour. Why did I sell? Well, 36 is a great price. Looking at Karn and Teferi, this is about where a card like this could sit at. Now we have other cards to compare it to, like Scarab God and Karn, which did touch the $60 mark. But you gotta remember, Scarab God was in the best deck, the best 2 decks, period, that nothing could touch. That's why it hit that mark, and it did come down after that as well. Now you got Karn, which is just a colorless card that can fit into every deck if you want to, and card advantage with drawing 1 and suspending 1. It never goes old. So of course that card was way up there at the time. But I think when it comes to Nicol Bolas, $36 is a great price. I expect it, if it does do well and it does take off, to hit the $40 mark, maybe $45. But I think at 36, you're good to go. I mean, the price right now, market-wise, is $37, just because the stores do sell it for a little higher than that. But all in all, I think I'm not going to lose big like I did when it came to Rekindling Phoenix. I know I got burned on Rekindling Phoenix, but that was a $15 mark to a $24 mark. But once you get up there in those numbers at 35, 40, the chances of it actually doing that and spiking higher than $4 or $5 is very low. So I'm happy, very happy to sell this card at $36 each. Let's move on to the Fire Blooded, a breakout card. And this is the kind of card you want to see happen for a set. A card that starts off low and then jumps up in price. That's where you really make your money at. Now, I held on to this card for sure. I was debating selling it. I really was, just because dragons, I was worried about it. But I held on to it because it wasn't really going down in price at all. And I'm happy to report that I did sell these things at about $18.50. The current market value is $19.34, but things aren't really priced at that. So I did pretty well. I enjoy it. I sold it. I'm happy with it. The thing is, it is showing up in Modern. That's what's helping that price a lot. The thing is, it's a very, very specific Planeswalker. It's dragons only. In Standard, if the dragon deck gets really good, then yeah, this card's going to go up. But because of the fact that it's a very, very niche Planeswalker, I feel like the cap is $25, and at $18.50, that's not bad compared to if, this card could plummet too as well. But I'm really cool with selling it right now. And the reason I'm selling a lot of these cards is because Pro Tour seems to be the spiking point, and things usually do go down after that, because we are going to hit a very big lull before the new set comes out. This is 2 months to go. 2 months is a long time for a card to stick around in price. So it's one of those things that you kind of want to get out when the getting's good. So let's move on to some evergreen cards. Crucible Worlds and Scape Shift. Crucible Worlds on screen right now. These cards are modern cards. They're not played in Standard. Hold on to them. These cards will never go down. They're not going to go down in value. They're going to stay where they're at and go higher. The further we get away, as soon as they stop printing this set, as soon as this set rotates, you're going to see these cards go up. So if you can stand to hold on to them, you don't need the money right away, then go ahead. These cards will go up. I don't think they're going to meet, where their original printings are, but they're going to go up. They're not going to go down, number one. They will go up once rotation happens. And hey, if it does see Standard play, if either of these cards see Standard play and they spike, go ahead and sell then, because it's going to be a 2-year long wait if you don't sell them right away. But yeah, modern cards, reprints for Modern, they're good. And they're only down this low because of the fact that supply is out there right now. Once it dries up, once everything goes back to normal, you will see that card go up. And so that $20 card you're sitting on right now could be $34. It could be a little higher than that depending on how it does in Modern. So why not stick with it? Next up, we got Tezzeret, the Artifice Master. I'm holding on to this card. I'm very disappointed. I could have sold it at 25. I didn't. I held on to 14. Kaladesh block is probably the best chance this card has to making it, and the fact that I didn't, I'm really surprised. But I still like it. I still think it's going to do good. I don't think it's going to go below $10. If it does, buy the crap out of this thing. Buy a playset so that you can make a deck out of it, because 14 is ridiculously low for this card and very undervalued. I'm keeping mine. I'm just going to put it in my decks and play with it, just because $14 for a card in the right deck, because you're going to put it in an artifact deck. So this card is drawing you 2 cards, period. If you use it in any other kind of deck, you're dumb. So this card draws you 2 cards, period. And the fact that it's not being used is ridiculous. On to another card. Let's go with a Johnny, Adversary of Tyrants. 1388, I pulled 4 copies. I pulled a Mythic foil from this card. And you know what? This is probably the riskiest thing I'm going to do, but I'm going to hold on to this. White has been really pinned down because of Mono Red, because of Chain Whirler. And once that rotates and once those gets out there, I think White has a huge chance to make a play. And I think this card is going to be key in that deck. And I think once Chain Whirler doesn't have the best follow-ups and the best, turn 1, turn 2s, I think that card is going to be not as impactful as it is right now. And I think that with this deck, I think those 1/1 lifelink tokens can get big enough that they're not going to be affected by Chain Whirler if someone does play Chain Whirler. So this is probably the riskiest venture ever. In this set, is to hold on to my 4 copies of this and then my foil mythic, because man, that's a lot of change. That's over $40 right there. That's over $60. That's a whole box from my price if I hold on to these. So let it ride, right? Let's see. Next up, of course, we got Resplendent Angel. I sold Resplendent Angel for about $19. Yeah, I sold it really early on. It's down to 14. I mean, just like Laura, like this 3-drop Angel should be doing better than it is. Once a Braid leaves, maybe you'll see a spike in this card as well. Maybe it's going to be going into that white deck with a Johnny. Most likely it will go into that white deck with a Johnny. But right now, a Braid, the fact that you don't have to use Lightning Strike or Artifact Destruction, you can use a card for both, is really hurting a card like this. So once that rotates, this card should go up. But once again, I felt like $19 was a decent steal. This could go up to $25 if it's all modern play. It could go up. So if I expect a big loser in my cards, it will be this one for sure. But as of right now, especially with my risk with the Johnny, I want to make up my money somewhere. So I decided to sell. You can hold on to yours if you want to, especially because this will probably be a really good build around. And if you can pick one up for $14, you probably should do so. Lilliana, Untouched by Death, I sold that for about $11. It's around $9.81 right now. Really surprised that Zombies didn't make it. I thought Zombies could race with Mono Red really well. I thought it got bigger than Mono Red and got very death touchy very quickly. And the fact that it showed nothing except for one Grand Prix, and even when that Grand Prix hit, nothing happened with the car prices. The car prices stalled for Zombies. And with Zombies rotating, I know in Ravnica, Bolas should show up with the Eternals once again, so we should have Eternal Zombies up and running. Still, the best chance was for Amonkhet block, and with that rotating, I'm not sure where this is going to land. So $12 is really low for this card. I hate to have sold this card for $12, but at the same time, like I said, I need to make up my money somewhere. Will I regret it? Maybe. Maybe regret it, but still, Lilliana is one of those cards that people want to build around and is looked at. So the fact that no one made a deck for it, that kind of shows you that maybe there isn't a deck for it that can win. Next up, we got Vivian Reed. I sold mine at $7.20. It was literally the first mythic I sold. I got rid of it as fast as I could. So far, I'm down $1. So far, I lost out on a single dollar. I'm really cool with that. Didn't think that Mono Green would play this, but this is a sideboard card and pops into the main deck every now and then. Whether or not it'll go beyond $10, kind of doubt it. Even if the Mono deck kicks off, I feel like it still isn't that necessary for it, so I feel like it won't go past the $10 mark. So being down $2, I'm okay with it, especially after facing probably a $4, $3 Planeswalker. I'm okay with it. But like I said, so far in my big scheme of things, this is my biggest loss yet with only $1. I'm going to lump in the rest of the Mythics, the Elder Dragons all together. Arcades, you got Nicol Bolas' sister, Chromium. All those cards are pretty much have not spiked. They've only gone down. The Strategist probably being the best one with sticking around at $6.50 like the entire time. I sold mine around that same price. Totally happy with that. Chromium was a huge disappointment for me. I thought Chromium was like a no-brainer when it comes to control decks. Even though it has a high cost, I was like, you know what? Chromium, it's going to do it. It's going to be awesome. But it dropped, and I sold mine probably at like $7 when it could have been, I could have probably sold it for $10 at its peak. But now it's settled at $5, so it's not too bad. I didn't take too big of a loss on that. Maybe this will see some play, but for now, I'm at Nicol Bolas has that spot, and people aren't really playing Chromium. Even when they're playing Dragon Tribal, this is like a one-of or a sideboard, which is kind of sad. The other Elder Dragons, kind of the same thing. Nothing too cool when it comes to those Elder Dragons. Nothing too exciting. They are what they are, and whether or not they go up in price, I highly doubt it. Things like the Dire might spike here and there, but will they be $12 Mythics? No, I don't think so. Just because we can have a lot of elements for a good Dragon deck now, and it hasn't pulled itself together, with Nicol Bolas and the Fire-Blooded being the standouts of those decks. A lot of rares, too, that are a part of that. Zero price spike in them at all. So we'll see how it goes. But for me, this has been like the Mythics to talk about. Everything else It's just if as the sets come out, maybe everything spikes here and there. That's the thing. When you have a mythic that's $2, $3, hold on to that because a single spike can throw you up there. You know, think about Combat Celebrant from Omnikit. Think about Angel of Invention. Those are all $3 mythics. They all got to 12 when they finally got their time to shine. So anything below $3 when mythic wise, hold on to it. Those will always be good. As for all the other mythics, all the other Planeswalker decks, kinds of things, not really my deal. Didn't open any of those things. Everything else I kind of sold as is. But for now, that is the market wrap up when it comes to these mythics. Everyone, like and subscribe if you're enjoying what you're seeing. I got one more video talking about the rares and the uncommons coming up. I'm sorry this video was super long. But everyone, have a good one.